Hello everyone, today we are back at home in IL-2 Great Battles. I have said this before, but this game really is the premier combat flight sim if you want to get better at dogfights. World War II planes do not have afterburners. You live with your mistakes. And along with that, I have always felt that the IL-2 player base is extremely competent, so the fights can get intense very quickly. I routinely let out a big sigh of relief after some fights in this game because they can get so dicey, and that means they are fun. Today we are solo in a 190 on Combat Box's Kuban Apollo campaign. Things start out at a simmer, but they reach a boil at the end, and we have to pull some rabbits out of our hat. If this is your first time here, this channel focuses on multiplayer sim gameplay, so if you're into that, please subscribe. We start this off over the front line. This is where the German and the Russian side are meeting, and this is where most of the action has been. And we do spot something below us, along with a yak that dove in toward us, but the angle was all off for him. So we're going to take a swipe at this guy and see if we can get him. This should be relatively easy. And I'm a little rusty, so I only connect with machine guns, which is unfortunate. And we do have something behind us. That might have been that yak. So I kind of did basically by accident, a double split S. And we still have something on us, and it's not the yak, but it's an LA5. Now this is not really a good spot to be in because the LA5s are really fast on the deck, so he could potentially run me down eventually, but the 190s can outturn him and can outclimb him. Can't turn here because I'll get dogpiled by yaks, but I can start to incorporate a little bit of a climb, and I'm taking a look at what he does, and he peels off. Now one really important thing to know in IL-2 is that the plane and the pilot are two separate entities and are tracked separately. In IL-2, if you die, bail out, or ditch an enemy territory, it's effectively the same thing because you get captured and your stats career is over. That's important to know because if you pull people into a fight over your side, they're going to be less aggressive because they're going to be worried about their virtual life. If they don't know about this and they are just as aggressive anyways, then they're probably not a sweat lord that cares about their stats, and you might have less to worry about anyways. So that's just important to know. So typically you always see this sort of a little bit of a dance or a tug of war going on where people are trying to bait each other into their own respective side. If you're fighting over friendly territory, you can be more aggressive, and if you do take hits, you can bail out, and it's less of a big deal because your virtual life hasn't been ended. So a lot of activity going on here. Looks like some flak guns, and we're keeping an eye out. And this new cinematic flak that the admins added, both in Combat Box and Finish, has been really nice because it does look a lot more busy. So we have, it looks like a 109. Something else below us. I think this might be a yak. And it looks like he's chasing someone because there's a whole bunch of red tracers chasing out to the northeast. Now we're in Russian territory, so we have to be really careful here. And we see, yep, the yak knocked out one of our friends, and then we have another Russian up above. So this guy just flashed someone, and he may not be ready for this. And I do a terrible shot here, but it's okay. I mean, I could have maybe pulled harder to try to make it, but I would have bled a lot more speed. And now it's time to go back. So if you look in the bottom left of the screen, you can see I'm heading back southwest to get back to friendly territory, staying low and trying to mask myself against the trees in the city. So it looks like we made our swipe and we got away. And now it's time to get a little bit of altitude. And checking low sticks to make sure no one's crawling up behind us. And you can see in the bottom on the left, people are complaining about shoot killing. This goes back into the pilot life thing. someone bailed out and someone shot their pilot, so people are raging. So this, someone who's climbing out. Now, at the time, I thought this was maybe a 109, but on second inspection, I realized this is actually a P40. And this is actually a pretty sweet position because there's no way he's going to see us here. That felt good. Those P40s are actually pretty scary to fight sometimes. The IL-2 devs did do some changes on their engines. I actually haven't flown it yet. I really am wanting to. But the thing that makes them scary is that they outdive 109s and I believe also 190s. That makes them really scary because the one thing that the Germans always seem to have in most of the fights in IL-2 is that they can always, assuming they have enough starting speed and altitude, is that they can always dive away. So a P40, especially a high P40 in a fight, is sort of having your back door becoming locked because you just can't decide to bail out or dive away. So that's something to always consider. The P40s, I am really terrified of when I see them pop up, especially with altitude. So we got our first kill, which is good. And now this sortie is going to start picking up because things get a little bit more intense. So we have someone here who's leaking. Now, based on his flight path, you would assume he's friendly because he's headed south into German territory. He's also quite low. And in looking back at this, yeah, I was about to say I haven't checked my 6 in a while, which was also a really lazy 6 check. So this looks like, is that a hurricane? This is definitely enemy. I have good speed, 550 going on to 600. And then there we go. That was pretty easy. So 1 onto 2. And we have stayed over our side. And we're just going to reset here and just very quiet now. And when things are quiet like this, this is the time to get nervous because the last thing that's happened in this area is me shooting someone down, so that pretty much everyone else saw that. So we do have someone diving in on us. This is why it's good to be nervous after you've done something and there's nothing else going on. So we are going to start barrel rolling, and I want to bait this guy into a rolling scissors because those are quite fun. This is my, I'm just getting back into, I'm starting to play IL-2 more regularly, so I kind of want to refresh and do these things. And I want you to focus on the angle. So he rolls, and then I roll back on the other side. And as soon as he rolls, I roll on the other side. And he slips out right past us, which is very nice. So that is a Spitfire. And we're going to roll again. And it looks like we get hit by someone else. So there was a second guy that we didn't see. So we're going to dump our nose and run. 500 kph, heading south, drawing the fight more toward our side, deeper into our territory, higher chance for other friendlies to see us, makes them more nervous, potentially less aggressive. And now this is the other guy. This looks like a yak now. And same thing, we don't want to turn. We can't turn with him, so we're going to roll. So we stay out of his plane. He doesn't get a nose on us. Look, he rolls, and then now I'm going to roll back on the other side. Now I'm dealing with 2 now. So he kept his nose high. I stay low to build up some speed, some separation. I didn't roll back into him. And when he does get his nose, I start to be more aggressive. Cutting speed to get him to overshoot. Okay, scary. He pulls up, I pull up into him, and now he's going to slip out past. And this is a little bit dangerous because I'm very slow, and I don't know where that second guy is. Unfortunate that I missed that shot. The guy's here. He's turned toward the left, and I'm going to stay low. So double overshoot. Now I got to cash my chips in here and knock someone out of this fight. So that's the flaps going in here. Very unfortunate that I missed that. That really sucks, because that would have changed the whole calculation here. Just under 400 kph, so I did cash in a lot of chips there, and I got much slower there. But as I mentioned earlier about drawing the fight, it looked like one of them got nervous and bailed, and now we have that one bailed too. So we've been going southwest for a while now. These guys, you know, have been trying to kill me for a bit. A lot of maneuvering, but kept the fight very linear in a direction, and they gave up. And what do we have here? We're gonna have to do something here. Now, if I fight again right here, this could be a little bit tricky because I'm gonna have to deal with those other guys if they see the shooting and come back in. But this guy's already shooting at me, so I'm gonna have to do something. So he looks like he's pretty quick. And that was very lazy by me. That was just rolling to roll, which was stupid. I should have like looked at his wing tips. So there we go. This was a bad move. I should have just moved more laterally. Luckily I survived. And I cut my engine, so he did shoot out past me. So dumping my nose to get some speed. I'm at 300 kph again, so I use this speed and I'm gonna use it for nose authority. Huge hit. This 220's ruined that yak. So now dump nose again and leave. I don't know where those other yaks and Spitfires went. 350 kph. And we see the kill. And we're on our way. The big thing here is to think about the position of the fight. Fights, you know, pretty normal that they start out over the front line, and then the question is who's going to be sort of who's going to set where the fight is. You want to take fights into your area. You don't want to get baited into an extended fight in enemy territory, because even if you win, you might get third party, and if you get third party and you need to bail out, you're going to get captured. It's actually one of the things that makes IL-2 really interesting, that they track the pilot and the airplane separately. I really wish DCS had this, because it adds an element into the positions of the fight and where they are, and it gives a reason to be more aggressive or less aggressive instead of just treating fights the same no matter where they are. Hope you guys found this video interesting. If you have any thoughts on it, let me know in the comments below. I'm really excited to start playing IL-2 more regularly again. I really do like this game. And if you guys liked it and want to support, please subscribe. Thanks, and have a good one.